Hey, it's George Hardy from Troll 2 and Best Worst Movie and Texas Cotton, and we're here from the Cinema Psycho Show, one of the world's best podcasts. So come on out and listen, and just remember, you can't piss on Cinema Psycho's show. Oh, God.
Nailed it. That's it right there.
Oh, goody, goody, here it comes.
Welcome to the Cinema Psycho Show.
You are interested in the unknown, the mysterious, the unexplainable. That is why you are here.
Oh, my God, don't stop now!
With your hosts, Brian, John, and Elaine.
Welcome to the Cinema Psycho Show, the madhouse for film freaks and film fans of all types. I'm your host, Brian Connaughton, and today I am actually not joined by my fellow co-hosts, although we have a pre-recorded interview that John conducted. We're going to jump to. We're in episode 162. This week, we have the luxury of being able to say that we've talked with one of the icons of cult cinema, if you want to call it that. We're talking today with George Hardy of the cult classic Troll 2. This interview has been a year in the making. We met George, I said, roughly about a year ago at a screening of his film Texas Cotton that happened here in Pittsburgh, through kind of our connections at Row House Cinema. And honestly, we just kind of hit it off from there. And, for the most part, we were trying to nail down a time to have an interview with him. But the truth is, and honestly, George is going to mention this in the interview, he has been exceptionally busy in the year, roughly year time that we initially talked to him. He's had Texas Cotton come out. He's also has a new movie coming out called UnderControll that we reviewed that's going to be coming out as well. And on top of that, he's working on he just finished working on a film that our host, John Woolscroft, worked on called Cyst. And that's not even talking about his day job as a dentist. So, George is a very busy man, and honestly, we were so thankful to have the time to talk to him. And he seriously is one of the most gracious people you'll ever meet. He's the opposite of what you would think of a celebrity. There's really no ego there at all. But without further ado, I want to jump over to John. And this is his interview with George Hardy.
Do you like the solar system?
Yeah, it's quite cool, planets and stuff.
I am John from the Cinema Psycho Show here, flying solo today. I am lucky to be here with George Hardy. George, could you give us a little bit of background on you here for people that somehow may be living under a rock and don't know you?
Well, you want to introduce me first, and then I'll fill in. How about that?
All right, yeah. George Hardy rose to fame here from being in the cult film Troll 2, and then the fabulous documentary Best Worst Movie that came from that. And you've been working pretty consistently in terms of doing some independent films here for the past couple of years. So any big notes that I missed there?
No, you got it. I was just testing you. Just to see if you had your glass of wine tonight, right? I actually had a glass of wine earlier. I actually just went to a wonderful restaurant and with a really lovely couple, and I was with a group of people that brought some Teslas on Lake Martin. I don't know if you ever heard of a Tesla boat, but they're $500,000 boats. And we did a Tesla little short film on Lake Martin down here where I live this summer. And it was and I just saw it. My buddy Tyler Russell, who actually wrote and directed Texas Cotton and also Cyst, now the new movies.
Oh, no, not that.
He also did the short. Yeah, you know Tyler. Yeah, Tyler's great. He's actually to the listening audiences from Austin, Texas, and he's up and coming. And after he saw Troll 2 and Best Worst Movie, he just said, "I got to have you in one of my films." So in 2014, I was filmed down in Mobile with Tyler, and he said, "You got to come do this with, a group of folks and musicians." And So I was with a group of people filming a little independent film around a Greyhound racetrack. The name of the film is called Here Comes Rusty, and unfortunately it hasn't come out yet due to some production problems. But so I played Bruce Hampton's dad. I don't know. Bruce was he's a guy that died on the stage at the Fox Theater. Bruce and the Dirty Dinosaurs. I don't ever know him, but anyway, crazy enough, I played the dad, and Tyler loved what I did for that day, and he said, "Hey, would you like to play a lead in a film?" And I said, "What?" He said, "I've written a script for you," and so sure enough, I played the lead in a new film called Texas Cotton, and that was filmed in December 2017, and then it just finished with Tyler again in another film called Cyst. So this is all the aftermath of Troll 2 and Best Worst Movie, and also, I forgot to mention that I filmed in Germany with Eva Habermann, who's the lead actress in Cyst, and we filmed that in Germany. It was an homage to Troll 2 called UnderControll that Eva put together. So yeah, so it's jumping around, a little few things in about a minute or two, and just fill you in on where I am.
I don't blame Tyler for wanting to work with you again, because I've obviously only heard good things, and I met you a handful of times before this, but getting to work with you in Baltimore, if George Hardy seems like a nice guy in any videos you guys have ever seen, he's twice as nice in person. So it's
oh god, well,
I think everybody
should be nice if you're a dentist, right? You got to be a nice. You have to be a nice person if you're a dentist, because everybody hates going to the dentist, right?
Right.
So it might as well be nice, What the hell?
Yeah, I was gonna say, for those that haven't seen Best Worst Movie, I just want to briefly talk about the fact that you are by trade a professional.
Yes, how I make my money, right? You don't make it off of film, especially independent film. Oh yeah, you tell folks that you're an actor, and they, oh god, you make a lot of money. Oh god, no, you don't. But only just a few A-list actors do, right? But nah. Yeah, so yeah, I'm 65 now, believe it or not, and oh my god, but I've been practicing dentistry for 40 years, and so I'm just taking another ride, doing some film work 30 years after I did Troll 2, which was just a train wreck, of course, and now translated in about 9 languages all over the world. Some people want me to be in their Best Worst Movie, for them, so here I am still doing film today.
And what's that like when you come back to the practice? You've been gone for a couple of weeks shooting a movie. Like, what are the clients often ask, like, what have you been up to? I've been off shooting movies.
I love it. A lot of my patients. Yeah, what's true is, it's no dress rehearsal for me anymore. So, hey, if I want to act, if I get an opportunity to do it, I'm going to do it, Just took off 2 weeks. Most dentists go, you took 2 weeks off your dental practice? How could you do that? I'm going, oh God, come on. You got to have something else to your life than just being a dentist or, a physician or whatever you do every day. So I was lucky enough to do it. So So I just got through filming Cyst, which was just incredible. It's a horror film, and filmed there in Baltimore, and it was a great, fun role for me. I loved it, and I'm just jumping all over the place with that thing. Oh my God! So 30 years after Troll 2, I'm still doing this kind of stuff. Yeah, it's fun. It's challenging. It's very you really. To act is very demanding, number one, and a lot of personal growth comes out of it. I think for me, number one, to practice living in present moment. Trying to learn a lot of lines, you got to just freaking hone in on the script and understand and decipher what it means. So you kind of throw your whole world away and you just concentrate on something else for a while, and it's really refreshing. So coming back, like you asked. To my practice, it's almost rewarding for me, it's almost like I've come back from a CE course in dentistry, because I just angle things and look at things differently after I come back from doing something so completely 360 or 780, whatever you want to call it, out of the box, for me. And so, yeah, so that, yeah, I find myself very fortunate to do what I do and make the living I do as a dentist. And it's not great, but it's good. And so I'm able to jump in there and do something else for a while. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, let's start at the beginning. I mean, I don't want to harp on it too much because what is there to say about Troll 2 that hasn't already been said, and there's so much more to talk about. But could you just kind of briefly tell us, like, how did you learn about Troll 2? What was that like? And then when did you realize this became such a cool phenomenon?
Yeah. Well, there's a documentary that we made called Best Worst Movie that really tells the whole story, and I'm the vehicle that tells the story of what happened to me and the other actors in this little film that has become a world cult phenomenon. Like I said, it's been translated in 8 or 9 languages, and it's called Troll 2. And back in 1989, I got a phone call from an agent that I didn't really have an agent, but I was doing some acting classes, and I had made a contact through a contact. She says, "Would you want to go up and audition for this thing?" So, sure enough, in July of '89, I go up and audition, and I get the second to the lead role in the film as an amateur actor. Well, I mean, hell, I'm not even that. And I said, "Oh my gosh, can I do this?" So sure, I went and went on my days that I could. It was a 13-day shoot for me. I practiced dentistry in the morning and shoot at night, or vice versa. Or some days I just completely, go into the shoot. And it was shot in Salt Lake City in 1989, and about 3-4 years later, it comes out on VHS. I think in 1991 it comes out, and I had no idea what was going to happen with this thing. And sure enough, it goes on HBO and Showtime, and it starts getting spread in the news, and it's become a world cult phenomenon now. Of course, it's one of the worst films ever made, along with your competition, Planet 9 from Outer Space, to The Birdemic, to The Room, and others. But Troll 2 is up there with the top 5, I'd say, and the worst ever made.
It was a different time then, where there was no social media where people could keep you updated on where the film was at. So you probably shot it, moved on with your life, and wondered, hey, I wonder if this thing's ever coming out. But then slipped the mind. How did you find out that this was showing on, or that it was available on VHS or showing on HBO or something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, I didn't know much about it. I got a phone call in 91 or 2 from my brother-in-law, who Will called me from Pennsylvania, and he says, "George, did you know that your movie's out?" And I go, "No." He goes, "Oh my gosh." Well, first of all, it's called Troll 2, and I thought, what? And there's no trolls in Troll 2. There's goblins, but no trolls. And I thought to myself, "Oh my gosh, what's going on?" And so somehow a patient brought a copy into me, and I put it in the VHS, and I just went, "Oh my God, I can't watch this thing." So about the first 30 seconds to a minute and a half, I just took it out, and I didn't even watch it. I was too embarrassed. I thought, "Oh my God, where's this thing going?" And so then, fast forward 17 years later, because honestly, there was an absence. I raised my kids at home, and the VHS copy of Troll 2 fell behind my TV with dust collected on it for about 10 or 15 years. Big, thick TV, not a flat screen like we have now. Again, no internet, and just no cell phones. And I had no idea what was happening with this film until one day, this is all on Best Worst Movie. I get a phone call from a writer. I'd love to find that kid today if I could. He's now 10, 15 years older. It was 2006, and it was April the 11th, and I get a phone call from this fella, and he goes, "Do you know anything about your movie Troll 2? I'd love to interview you. I'm doing a radio documentary on it. And I go, what? Just like you tonight. And this is what now? It's 14 years ago. And so I go, what are you talking about? He goes, well, if you don't believe me, go to IMDb. And it's Troll 2 is worst. Is rated as a top 100 films of all of them as the worst film ever made. And I go, you got to be kidding me. And so I didn't even know what IMDb, Internet Movie Database. I didn't even know what that meant. I mean, if you type in The Godfather, you're going to bring up IMDb first on it. So I go in and I just start scrolling down, John, all the way to the very bottom of the screen. And again, this is 2006, and big old clunky computers. And I don't know what the hell I was doing with that old crazy mouse at the time, the big thick mouse. And I just kept scrolling down and down and down. And all of a sudden I see forum, F-O-R-U-M. I said, look at the bottom of it. I said, oh, this is interesting. What's this all about? So I see all these comments about the characters played in Troll 2. And I keep going. And I go to the very bottom of the screen. It's about 11:30 at night. And I go, oh my gosh, look at this. And it says, Troll 2 cast reunion and first screening ever in America in Provo, Utah on April 13th. Well, now, this is just like, how did this happen? This is, the universe came to me, because this is April the 11th that I'm scrolling this, and the actual reunion is the 13th. So it was 11:30 at night. I thought, I am going to pick up the freaking phone and call Delta right now. I'm going to this thing. So $730 later, I mean, that was in 2006. It was that much. I flew out on my own, and I walk in late in Provo, Utah, about 50 miles south of Salt Lake, into this room in downtown Provo, and there is Troll 2. I've never seen it ever. I've never seen it all to with its completion, and I was trying to watch it as best I could, but never saw it. I come in late on the thing, still haven't seen the whole thing in full. And the lights come on, and there's 7 cast members 17 years later after the movie. And I get tackled by BYU students there in Brigham Young, and they're all Troll 2 fans. I had no idea this was even going on with the life of this incredible little film. So fast forward again, Michael Stevens and I said, hey, we need my on-screen son in Troll 2. He says, why don't we make a documentary out of it? So sure enough, organically, we spent the next 3 years making a documentary called Best Worst Movie. Went to 28 cities in 8 countries, organically put it together with friends and family, and made this thing happen, and made an award-winning doc that really people felt it was snuffed from the Academy. It was a beautiful, incredible doc that Michael filmed and put together. And I think it was even shown today. It might be up there with the top 5. It's just a great doc called Best Worst Movie. So what's Best Worst Movie? Yeah, it was fantastic. It's just a great doc. It's so heartwarming and beautiful. And, very emotional for me to go through that moment in my life to do that and see that. And it premiered at South by Southwest. So from that, everything that happened, because, like this whole connection with Tyler Russell, who got me into his films, led me to go into some serious acting with some serious actors like Gene Jones and Lou Temple and Judd Lorman on SEAL Team right now. He plays Blackburn, and Jason Douglas, all from Walking Dead. But especially with, of course, Gene Jones from No Country for Old Men. To be sitting across from a table in a scene, working with him one-on-one as myself, a lead actor, and then coming out as a supporting actor, Cyst now. And then even to be able to get the opportunity to go over to Germany, to Baden-Baden and film, and still maintain a practice, believe it or not. Come back and forth with those. So you could call this kind of a renaissance situation for a person or a guy doing some crazy stuff. But yeah. I mean, it's just, it's like my way of looking at it all. It's no dress rehearsal for me anymore. Like I said, at 65, and I'm going to take these opportunities and run with them. So therefore, I get to meet you in Pittsburgh, right?
Right? Yeah, yeah. And as I remember, I remember I saw Best Worst Movie. I was so excited to see it because I was a fan of Troll 2. And it was very interesting to find out, like, you guys were doing the best that you could with what you had. You had a bizarre script, a rush shoot with a director that barely spoke English, and you guys did what you could with it. But I think that's where I fell in love with George Hardy, and I think everybody else did. And I'll tell you, like, spend 15 minutes with George Hardy in person, and you'll agree with me. And I think that's partially why Tyler wanted to. Continues to, work with you and wanted to work with you. But,
oh, John, you're a sweetheart. Really. That's so nice of you to say that.
But yeah, that was one of the highlights of working on the film was getting to hang out and spend some time with you there. But, I remember when you were in Pittsburgh promoting Texas Cotton, that was a whole different kind of movie. And it really showed that you had quite a range as an actor, playing a very serious role like that. What was that like?
Yeah, well, wait till you see Cyst.
Yeah.
It's freaking believable. Yeah. Oh, I am Nicholson from The Shining all the way to Gene Wilder and
little Jim
Carrey. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you watch it. It'll blow you away. It'll blow your socks off.
But what was that like, working on Texas Cotton, being the lead in the film and such, like a more serious role and kind of a serious plot line,
Actually, very, 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 very challenging for me. And I just didn't know how well I could pull it off working with, whatever you want to call them, B or A-list actress, but to work with true professionals that go from film to film to film, and here I come as an amateur actor playing a lead in a film, with terrific thespians, and I was very intimidated until I just finally moved through day 4 or 5 and just said, you know what, I'm jumping off a cliff, and it's kind of something I always wanted to do, but I felt I couldn't believe in myself as an actor, because I throw myself out of coming from a professional, extracting teeth, doing root canals, oh God, then my whole professional life is a general dentist. And then I just jump into, and from that on a Friday or Thursday to acting on Monday, with lights and cameras all around you. It is pretty unfucking believable, really, for me to have gone through this story for myself. And so it was just truly free falling for me. And yeah, I'll honestly tell you, for me, more than anything about the whole whatever I'm doing in my life, whether it's acting or whatever, it really all boiled down to just trusting self. And I just had to just close my eyes at night and just trust my own inner gut, and my inner gut was that I really did want to, as a child, well, not as a child, but teenager, college, want to act. I say that in Best Worst Movie. And I ended up being, a dentist of all things. And I like it. I don't love it. I can't say I love acting, but, it's just, Dad always made me, a professional golfer. He wanted me to play golf, and I didn't really like it, but no, I just jumped into this thing, and I always felt I could act on a feeling level. I just felt like I could do this. And so, yeah, I threw myself into something that was deeply challenging for me, and especially learning the lines, because I'm in 56 or 57 scenes in Texas Cotton. Now, in Cyst, I'm not as in many scenes. I'm in about 3/4 of the movie, where I was in 100% of the movie in Texas Cotton, but I'm in about 3/4 of this film. But I have even more speaking lines and more paragraphs to memorize, and more of a challenge. So, yeah. So, but I was much more prepared, in this new film than I was in Texas Cotton. That was just getting my things in gear. I was much better prepared, learning the lines and memorize it. But it's not so much about learning lines. It's just becoming that character, really.
Yeah, and I had the fortunate luck to be on the Cyst set, and I can vouch for it. It's in the best way possible, an out there kind of movie. It's an homage to kind of 50s
Yeah.
horror movies and stuff. And I don't know how much you and I can really say here. I don't know if we want to delve into too many spoilers or
Absolutely.
anything.
We want to kind of keep it a secret to the
Yeah.
audience, really. And I think Tyler and the rest of the crew that made the film would want us to kind of keep hush hush about it, really.
But yeah, it's all I can say. It's a horror movie. It's a lot of fun, and you're gonna see George Hardy in a whole new light on that one, because
right.
you're just allowed to go for it.
Oh
on
my
that
God,
one. It was
I
fun
did,
watching you
and I'll
do
tell
your
you,
thing.
no, it was an incredible. That more even so was an incredible experience. In fact, I was a little disturbed after being in a horror film. This horror film is on steroids compared to what I did on Troll 2, as you know. And so, it's a real dark side of me that doesn't, because I'm always Mr. Nice Guy, pleaser kind of thing. That's my primal strategy, probably. But yeah, I even came back, John, from the set, and I had nightmares. I had nightmares of, because even though I think the one of the reasons probably is because there's no computer graphics stuff going on. It's the real stuff, and so I cut all my hair off. I just got a crew cut because I just couldn't see me in the mirror as who I played in this Twilight Zone type movie,
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I have a feeling, and I mean, I'm not sitting in the editing room, so I don't know what Tyler's going to do, but I have a feeling that there's going to be a fun energy to the horror.
There's no
I don't
question.
think it's going to.
No.
Yeah, we're not looking at The Grudge. We're looking at something that people are going to holler at in the
I think the audience will freaking love this film. And once the soundtrack's done with it too, that's to me sound and light and color, but soundtrack, hey, if you got a great soundtrack, it nips a movie in the bud. I mean, like, for example, Gravity, great film, but the soundtrack, awesome, and the same thing for the one, oh God, the Facebook, the movie about the Facebook guys, social media. Is that the name of it?
Oh boy, yeah, about Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah. Social network. Yeah, for that movie, they won an Academy Award for the soundtrack for that film, and the same thing for Gravity. Both of them actually did, and both were great films. But I'm telling you, soundtracks do it. And if we can nail on this soundtrack, Sam Lippman, who did Texas Cotton, did a beautiful job. I believe he'll pull it off on this baby.
Oh yeah, I mean they were professionals galore on this film. The cinematographer was seasoned pro. The audio guys were seasoned
thank
pro.
You. Yeah. No, you're right about it.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah,
that was a great crew. Just great.
I never felt so out of my league, man. I'm like, oh man, some of these guys are like working on like Die Hard 4 and other things. Yeah, it's a humbling experience.
For you to realize that. But yeah, so what's kind of cool about it is there's 5 cast members from Texas Cotton and Cyst, which is really, really, really neat. And so yeah, I loved it. And I wish we could have brought more from the crew and cast from Texas Cotton into Cyst, but yeah, so the listing on this, Cyst is on Prime, but it's also, if you want to buy it as well, it's on most all platforms. And it's not Cyst, but Texas Cotton. I'm sorry if I said that. But yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you haven't seen Texas Cotton, definitely check it out. Not only is it a great film, but you're supporting, independent filmmaking. And I'll admit, when I came to that screening, Travis said, hey, come on out, check this out. And I was a little worried because I knew the director was young, and I was like, oh, I hope this isn't, kind of a letdown, but it'd be cool, if nothing else, if I get to meet George Hardy. And then I saw the film, and I was like, wow, Tyler he's an ingenue, you know what I mean? And I'm not just saying that because he's my boss, because he is. But, he's a very talented filmmaker. And Cyst is going to blow everybody away too.
Yeah, Tyler is. Thank you so much. But no, you're right about Tyler. He's amazing. Tyler Tyler's a rock and roller, as you know. I think he's the next best thing coming up. I really do. He's bright. He's intelligent. He's a connector with people. Good looking guy. He's got all the charisma it takes to make things happen. But he's sharp and very creative. He's been making films, I think his mom told me, since he was 4 or 5 years old, and he's done it all. He's done every aspect of film, and he knows how to put it together. So he's a true director. I love to watch him direct. He's such a great director. Makes people feel really good, even if they're feeling bad. He'll make them still feel good. Good energy, right?
Oh yeah.
I love him. He's one of my best buddies I'll ever have. Even though 30 to 65, we're still just the best of friends.
How did to go back a little bit here? How did you come across Under Control? And what was that like?
You're right. You're such a
Europe
good interviewer.
Something like that.
I got a phone call from someone. He would be a German Tyler Russell. In other words, a director, a screen, writer, and also, an editor, just like Tyler, same age exactly. And he's a huge Troll 2 fan, just like Tyler. And he wanted me to come over to Germany, and he'd written a script as an homage to Troll 2. And he wanted me to actually play my character in the film called Goblin 2. So I sure enough tried to decipher a script written in German, translated to English, and I'm the only American in the film. And it's about 3-week shoot for them, and I shot one of the 3 weeks with them in about 8 scenes. It had a nice experience, and so that film gets made in 2014, along with Here Comes Rusty, when that came out with Tyler. And so I said, Tyler, when you're over at Cannes, of which they went over to promote Texas Cotton, why don't you meet one of the lead actresses from this movie Goblin 2, and a German actress, and her name's Eva Habermann. And he meets Eva over in Germany, and sure enough, Eva ends up meeting Tyler, and Tyler writes the script and presents it to Eva, and she ends up acting in the film and coming over to America and bringing a couple of her makeup artists and some connections that she had. And sure enough, she films with me, and we play together. And I kept saying to her when I was filming in Germany, Eva, you need to be filming, on American soil. You really need to be recognized here in America. So, I mean, when I was filming in Germany, I had no idea of these actors that I was with. They were wanting to get people in Baden-Baden lined up to get autographs of these German actors that I was in scenes with. It was so cool. I had no idea who I was working with. But the bottom line is Eva's one of those. And so she did that, and she and her boyfriend came over, and Tyler ended up meeting her. And the connection was also he does the creative direction for the voiceovers for they changed the German version is it's called Goblin 2, but the international and version of it and American version, where it's dubbed, is called Under Control. And so it's a crazy mixed up thing, and a lot of legal stuff going on with those two films right now. But but hopefully both of them will be released, and everybody be able to see one or both versions for the world to enjoy it. And so I have about 8 or 9 scenes playing actually Michael Waits.
Yeah, that was interesting, because I remember in the opening credits when it says, and George Hardy is Michael Waits, and like the movie is very tongue in cheek, and you could hear one of the villagers say, "Oh, George Hardy in this," and I was like, "Okay, this movie's going to be a fun time."
So Tyler actually got Jason Douglas seriously. Texas Cotton and also Cyst, he's in both films, to be the voiceover, because Jason does Dragon Ball Z. He's the main voice of Dragon Ball Z, and then Jason brought in a whole bunch of his crew to help dub this German-made film. Yeah. I hope I'm not too confusing to the audience, but yeah.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, it's a very meta kind of thing, So I mean, I could see how it could come off as a bit confused, but I mean, I don't think, hopefully nobody's confused on that. But yeah, it was and it was very interesting meeting Ava. She's a trip. She's so much energy.
Great.
And just like a really fun person to be around.
So anyway, what a great thing to be able to meet somebody from across the world and be in other films with them. That's great. Yeah, I'm so fortunate, blessed. And again, not stepping out, I would have been just drilling and filling in my office and never had these opportunities to have an interview like tonight.
And at what point did you meet Travis Ayers, who member of Narrative Films?
Oh God, what an amazing person Travis is. Oh, it was out of the blue call, out of the blue. Just Travis wants to somehow make a connection with me, and sure enough, I connected him with Tyler. Now all this has happened with him. So yeah, I said, Tyler, you need to meet this guy. He's a Troll 2 fan. Oh, I don't know, George. Tyler, I think this guy's pretty sharp. I don't know, George. I said, just trust me. Just trust me. So yeah, Travis is it's great.
Yeah, he's my ride or die. Yeah,
he's pretty amazing. He's pretty amazing. Yeah, I love him.
If you look at it this way, George, if you hadn't connected those two, they probably wouldn't have started Narrative Films, and I wouldn't be working for them now. So thank you very much.
Well, you're welcome. Well, I'm so glad you're a part of this whole process of working with Narrative. There's a great group, and I can only see it growing and getting bigger. For Tyler, of course, he's nonstop now, and you are too, and so is Travis. Yeah. And I have to go back, and we missed one person in Cyst that we didn't talk about. And that was the great Greg Sestero, and from, of course, The Room, and a brilliant man, and wrote, of course, The Disaster Artist with James Franco, and Seth Rogen, of course, took over and took under their wing to make the actual movie. What an honor to him, and really pays tribute to a great, novelist. He's brilliant. He's just he has to be to.
And what an extremely humble guy too, because he's in one of the most famous cult movies of all time. He's a New York Times best-selling author.
Hello.
He's been up for like Emmys and things like that for the screenplay of Disaster Artist. And the first time I meet him, I shake his hand. He's like, "Hi, I'm Greg Sestero." I'm like, "Yeah, man, I know who you are."
Yeah, everybody does.
I should be introducing myself to you. Yeah.
What a great guy. And I always will feel bonded as a friend to him. And, I'll tell you, John, it's really rare for me in my life. I mean, how often am I going to meet somebody else like myself that's become recognized for being in a movie that's so bad it's good? And, of course, he's written a book. But for me, I did a doc. And, we have a very parallel situations going on in our lives. And, in fact, I think what I'll do is when I get off this call, I'm a little charged up. I might even try to call him and say hello to him. But he's all over the place.
Well,
of course,
give him my best.
I will. Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I would say, if you haven't seen Best Worst Movie, check that out immediately. Texas Cotton is available, so take a look for that. I'm thinking maybe sometime around the fall or towards the end of the year, we may be seeing Cyst. There's no set date for that, but obviously check out George Hardy's social media, check out mine, check out the films, Narrative Films. You'll get updates as that film starts to progress, and hopefully we'll get a little under control action happening here too. I think Ava said that they're just a hairpin away from getting that thing, sent out here. So
pretty amazing. Yeah, Tyler's. I think they're all working on this thing. So exciting times, to see what happens, and love to see Cyst premiere at a really big festival. I think it's one of those that can and will,
Oh yeah. And I will also say this, if Troll 2 or something is playing near you and George Hardy's going to be there in person, do not miss the opportunity to go out and see him and shake his hand, because you won't regret.
I've done a few of those. That's for sure. Probably about, I bet you a couple hundred. maybe, really, to be honest with you. But I'm not anything like some of those Troll 2 fans that say that they have watched Troll 2 every night in their life. There's some people that watch.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, there's some people who just
Love
live
it.
and die by and you're like, okay,
Yeah, right.
Oh, and what's that service that you use, George, where people can they can pay for you to basically say, hey, Karen, happy birthday, don't piss on hospitality.
Thank you for that little plug. Shout out here to Cameo, Cameo, and it's called Cameo. And if anybody wants me to, what I'll do if you do it and make a request is, I do a little videotape to you. I personally say something to you, and I send it to you. And you can, if it might be a birthday gift to one of your friends that loves Troll 2 or whatever. And then I think it's like $20, but now we're taking some of the proceeds from that and we're going to put the money toward the fires in Australia.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But so Cameo, Cameo is the name of the app for anybody who wants to download. And it's kind of got a pink and it looks like a little flowers. It's black. There's a couple of cameos out there, but this one's black with like a starburst on it, with pink and aqua and kind of chartreuse. I don't know the colors. And you can see it. It's called Cameo. Guy, stop. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, hey, George, thank you so much.
Oh, John, you're a big sweetheart. Come down here. Travis has been here. Tyler's been here.
Oh,
come on down.
Yeah, I can't let those two guys have something.
Any of our listening audience. Well, I'll tell you, to the listening audience, if they want to come by and visit, and then come by my dental practice. We clean people's teeth that are Troll 2 fans. So
once again, check out Troll 2, check out Best Worst Movie, check out Texas Cotton, and keep a lookout for, Here Comes Rusty, Under Control, and Cyst, because before you know it, they're going to be out there for you to check those out too.
Oh, wow. You're incredible. And Happy New Year to you, 2020. My gosh.
Yeah.
And to your family. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. Back to you.
Yeah. Oh, man. We got to reconnect soon. So this is great.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for this interview.
George. You have a good night.
You betcha. Bye-bye.
Thank you again to George Hardy for coming on to the show. Be sure to check out his films, Texas Cotton, Under Control, when it comes out relatively soon, and as well as Cyst. And of course, if you don't know who the hell George Hardy is, definitely check out Troll 2. It's a classic. You won't be disappointed. Also, thank you to Narrative Films for their assistance in getting us the interview. Great company. I look forward to seeing what they come out with Cyst. I know John's talked a lot about it, and it looks really cool. Be sure to like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Psycho Show. You can also find us on the Epicast Network at epicastnetwork.com. If you have a favorite movie or question you want to throw away, you can contact us at cinemapsychoshow.com. Make sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts and iTunes, and catch a new episode next time.